So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, we are the bad guys who stay between the coffee break and you, but I'm sure that our topics will keep you awake. My name is Georg Pongracz.
Okay. And good. Quick introduction. I'm Jan, CTO at Blue Yonder, and will right after Georg, who gives an update on what we do on Azure, go into details on why we decided for Azure, what we're running on Azure, and how it works out so far.
Yes.
Georg.
So I work at Microsoft as a cloud solution architect, and what I'm doing in my role with my team, that we are working with partners together in Germany, and this partner working with Azure technologies, and this is the context why I'm here today. Blue Yonder is one of these partners in Germany, and I'm very happy to be here as a Microsoft representative, if I can say it so, and to talk about some key points of Azure. So basically, I would need an hour now, but I have about 5 minutes. So let me point out some very, very important facts. And the first is trust and compliance, because this is truly my personal experience in my customer meetings with partner together. This is the hottest topic ever. We talk about how Microsoft applies security, how compliant we are, and what about data in the cloud. And we understand that you as a customer and a partner must be able to trust your cloud provider, and you have to know that your data is safe and that your privacy is protected. This is a very, very important key points. So security is built in without any service we offer to our customers, and is truly built within our development processes, our infrastructure, our operation, and our compliance. And the question is how you can prove it. So that's why we participate in international compliance programs with independent verification how we measure. And if you have any further question to this area, which is a huge area, then please feel free, open your favorite browser, use your favorite search engine, and type Microsoft Azure Trust Center, and I'm sure that you will find the right URL, and then you have all of the documents we offer to you to understand how important and top priority security for us is. So open and hybrid. If we wouldn't open and hybrid or open, then I wouldn't be here today. Microsoft Azure doesn't matter what you have to technologies. So you can work with your technologies you work on today with the same tools in the most cases. We invest heavily in third-party partnerships with other companies. Over 40% of our virtual machines running on Linux. And one of the best examples will be Jan's presentation today, how Exasol can be driven on Azure. So, and the last point is a global scale. So we have a worldwide presence with Microsoft Azure. So let me name some numbers. We have nowadays 100+ data centers in 30+ regions, over 40 countries around the world. And the most important message is that these data centers are connected with our own network connections based on dark fiber. Microsoft is one of the 3 largest network provider of the world. Do you know about it? Do you hear about it? Probably not, but you do it today. So, and that's why you are welcome to use this infrastructure. But we are not only globally present. Some countries, by the way, Germany as well, have some further regulations regarding data privacy, and that's why we have locally resided data centers as well. One is in Germany, so 2 data centers in Germany, Frankfurt and Magdeburg. Then we have the same construct in China. It's funny, but it's so, and the USA. So if I don't know how detailed you are informed about this topic, but if you have any further questions, I'm here, or call us, and we will be very happy to answer your questions regarding every questions related to Azure. Thank you.
Good, great. Thanks, Georg. And thank you all for staying in and not running away for coffee. I think it will be rather interesting that I have the talk directly following you, Ulrich Fricke, because we took exactly the other way around. So we came from dedicated hardware, especially with Exasol, and decided for Azure. Why and how that worked out, I will show, and I'm fully with you. Trust your own performance tests and do them diligently. So first of all, a little bit about the type of people that work at Blue Yonder. We claim to have one of the largest group of PhDs, postdocs coming from CERN. It's a picture that you see from one of the particle collider detectors here that work on really tough and hard retail problems. So problems that we solve for retailers as a software as a service company. And we are a bunch of software engineers. And in this group, we then build our products or services that we offer to retailers. More on that. What do we do? Well, we help retailers to adopt to a really data-driven approach to how they do decision-making. And we take that to the extreme. We automate decision-making in core retail processes, that is in supply chain and in pricing. And because we do that, we can do some incredible things by boosting revenue or margins, and we can actually measure that. And because we have our great particle physicists, we even do that in statistically sound A/B tests that continue to excite our customers in retail. Now, what do we do for retailers? As I said, it's data-driven. We collect a number of data sources, public ones, but also those that are purely internal to our customers, and we heard them about customers, not personal data, but anonymized data around products, around locations, around time, sales, stocks, weather predictions. We have historized weather predictions all around the world that you need for sound statistical modeling. Otherwise, you would include future knowledge. And all that data we use to drive and automate core processes that you find in retail, be it e-commerce or be it brick-and-mortar retailing. That is DC replenishment, what you see in grocery retailing, but also in e-commerce retailing. So how and when do I buy from my suppliers and put the products at the right time into my distribution centers? That is important for grocery retailers because at some point in time, they need to pick and pack, put everything on the truck, ship the truck out to the store. So there you're in store replenishment. But it's also important for e-commerce retailers. They need to decide in fashion a couple of months out what to buy, what to stock. And then sometimes they also need to decide what to pre-allocate where in distribution centers, what is sometimes called predictive shipping. Because if you can look into the near or midterm future, and you know what people might be ordering, you can pre-pack and pre-allocate these products already in your DCs and bring down shipment times dramatically. And then obviously there's also price optimization. We all know it, and we are all used to it by now by e-commerce retailers. So quite frequently changing prices that you see in online stores, but also quite significantly markdown pricing for fashion retailers, which is a huge topic for fashion retailers. And you can do that manually, or you can let the machine support the humans, and the machine can actually do pricing on the lowest level that can be shirt, color, size. So these are the kind of capabilities that you can do if you bring a machine and clever algorithms into the mix. And all that runs for quite some years already on Exasol. So we are not as long-standing customer as Xing is, but it's also 5 to 6 years by now. We have per customer tables easily with billions and billions of rows that we constantly merge and join in daily runs. And per customer, we typically see something beyond 200,000 queries, pretty heavy and substantial queries per customer and per day. We are also proud users of the merge statement, and I talked to the colleagues from Exasol already. I think we have been kicking the tires pretty hard on the merge statement over the recent years, but we're also extremely happy with the improvements that we've seen over the years, how Exasol was able also improve that statement, a much overlooked statement in the SQL arsenal. And because I said we are actually automating decisions for our retailers, we are not the classical BI data warehouse user of Exasol. We use the Exasol database as, you could call it, a transactional database. So it's part of core operational processes of our customers. They rely on it, and we have to deliver to extremely challenging SLAs. So you can imagine if you have a physical supply chain where you need to ship stuff around, at a certain point in time, you need to make a decision before the trucks leave what to put on the truck. And yeah, usually it's not a good idea to let the trucks wait. So you need all the decisions pretty early in the daily process to make sure that these orders can actually be fulfilled and then shipped. And that puts us into a pretty tight and tough time window to ingest all data, run our machine learning models, be it predictions or trainings, and then to run the decision optimization for shipment or for pricing and provide then all the results back to our customers. But with our skills and the help of Exasol, we have been able to do that pretty well. And our kind of measure is that we often run into retail customers that have problems in digesting the 500 million predictions we deliver to them on a daily basis, because they then approach us and say, we want to have all predictions. We're like, you're sure? Yes. Across all horizons, all products? Yes. We want to put them into our data warehouse. And we're like, okay, here's the API, pull them. And then usually they take longer to ingest the predictions into the data warehouse than it took us to get all the data in, calculate the predictions, and serve them via the API. So this is kind of our benchmark. Good. So interesting question, why we decided to go for Microsoft Azure. Said we are a software as a service company with ambitious growth goals. So we are expanding into the United States. And to us, the question came, do we want to expand with our existing co-location model into more regions, or do we want to take the jump off faith and go into one of the public cloud infrastructure providers? And the major question to us was exactly performance. Are we able to produce the same level of performance and the same level of dependability on the public cloud? We looked at the different public cloud vendors. In the end, decided for Microsoft Azure, and since the beginning of this year, have moved our complete infrastructure step by step into the Azure cloud. And for us, it really worked out. What is under the hood? So besides all the other stuff that we deploy to Azure, I want to put here the focus on the Exasol database itself. Our typical setup is a 4+1 Exasol cluster, can also be for extreme cases 8+1, but we also have smaller ones, 2+1. For the license server, we still use a maybe a bit oversized standard DS3 V2. That's one of the instances that you can buy on Azure. And for the database nodes, we use the GS5, which comes with 35 CPUs and 448 gig of RAM. That's the largest you can get as of now on Azure. We actually would like to scale up even more if possible, but we'll see. We take whatever is there. Rather fewer nodes and larger nodes. Storage, we take the premium storage. And there we are attaching currently 5 storage disks per node. The first one, unfortunately, is still lost for the OS, so that's what we are still working on with the Exasol team. So that's why it says 4x4. So for each of the 4 database nodes, 4 disks each, because one is lost for the OS. Luckily, we can size it down after it has been provisioned. So that gives us 13 terabyte of storage, which works for our setup. We are currently backing up into a Samba share, which is also easily provisioned on Azure, and from that we can then quickly recover in case we should lose a complete cluster, also recover into a different region, which is a nice side effect of being on the public cloud. But also here we'd like to move to the Azure Blob Storage for cost efficiency reasons. What do we see as main benefits from moving with Exasol on Azure? Because the rest of the stack that we have in our application, we didn't really had any or couldn't foresee any troubles there. So first of all, we are now on an infrastructure with a truly global reach. So spinning up a new region is now for us tremendously simple because we have really, from the ground up, have made everything configurable. So there is everything, the VPN, the public IPs, the configuration on network and security groups. Every single aspect is completely automated via Ansible scripts and the architecture resource templates. So redeploying a complete region is just a click away from us, be it because someone made a manual change and we just want to make sure we get back into the original state, or if we want to bring up a complete new region, let's say in North America or in Asia. And this decision to go for full automation has paid off tremendously already. So what we have seen is that in the past, with the first Exasols that we've set up, there are always these little tweaks and things that you do, although they are little to do, but you do them. And then the question always is, how do I produce an exact replica of that database server in case I should need one? For us, that's really simple now. If we want to get another 5 Exasol clusters just for testing for 2 or 3 hours, that's just running one Ansible script, and it's there. So this gives us great flexibility and deployment and operations. And what we are still doing is to work together with the Exasol team on also further automating all the aspects of configuring not only the database cluster, but all database instances. In the past, we have been using a combination of the XML RPC API that Exasol offers, but also a bit of ugly screen scraping for the Exa Operations UI with the 5.x version that was more required than desired. But I heard that with 6.0, which we are now testing on Exasol, the XML RPC API is much more complete. Again, we have our things to do, so we haven't come around to test that fully, but this is exciting news because then we can also, by full automation, go all the way on configuring even the database instances with all aspects. And it has resulted for us in great flexibility in the setup. So trying out an Exasol cluster on a new hardware or network configuration, that is really as easy as that. That's great. We have fully reproducible setups, which gives us great peace of mind in operations, and it makes the different, let's say, the different regions that we operate much, much more similar. And for us, typically, more automation always turns out to mean more quality. Again, it's a lot of work that you have to put in, but for us, it always paid off. There's always more to ask for, so I brought my little desired features list. As said, we'd really like to use the blob storage. I think this is one of the great things about the public cloud that all knows about. There are these binary large object store services which offer fantastic price for value in terms of storage. So we'd like to directly export to these blob storages either per backup or per export statement. We'd love to see an efficient export format, and I've already learned when arriving that apparently with one of the next Exasol 6 versions, Apache Parquet will be supported. It's a great data format. If you don't know it yet, have a look at it. It's pretty efficient and compact and supported throughout the complete Apache analytics stack. And for smooth operations, we would wish for a nice DB node exporter for Prometheus. So we deploy Prometheus for monitoring. Whoever wants to learn more, because this gets really technical, approach me. So if we could use all the telemetrics, all the information on every database node, that would help us a lot, because as I said, we tend to kick these databases pretty hard. We are also sharing a lot of the stuff that we build as open source tools and packages. So we are a heavy Python-inspired company. So if you do use Python and Exasol, get in touch. There are already a few packages out there that are available. TurboDBC is really fast columnar ODBC access to the Exasol database. We even think, according to our benchmarks, it's the fastest access that you can get. SQL Alchemy is the database abstraction layer that you want to go to if you use Python. Then we have a little helper thing for Prometheus, which is Azure Cost Monitoring. Pretty neat, so that you basically get a nice dashboard and a projection of the expected monthly costs that you will run up to the end of the month. And we have a little project that should be up and by now, which is Tropo, which allows generation of ARM templates. This is kind of the description language that you need for Azure to describe your infrastructures, to generate them from Python. And there might be even more. Again, if you're into open source, if you're into Python or other stuff, approach me. Or follow us on Twitter. We usually write updates there on stuff that we do, as well as on our tech blog, and obviously on GitHub. Thank you.